performance decrements of about 50%. Metro 2033, Dirt 2, Batman, those saw anywhere from 40 to 60% performance drops depending on the game particulars, because keep in mind, in 2D mode, we didn't have VSync enabled. In 3D mode, you have to have VSync enabled in order to make sure that the lenses and the monitors are all firing at the correct rate and that kind of thing. So that's gonna skew things a little bit. We did have one question mark with 3D Vision Surround, and that was with Left 4 Dead 2. We told you at 5760 by 1080, we got 141 frames per second with the pair of GTX 480s. With that same configuration in 3D mode, we were getting like 18 frames per second, something really, really, really low. And changing some image quality settings didn't really address those questions we had. So that sounds like a driver bug, some kind of issue that NVIDIA is trying to finish up working out. So we've got some questions into them and hope that they'll be able to give us an answer relatively quickly. So in general, I think it made sense. The results that we saw, a pair of GTX 480s are going to perform better than a single 5870 or a pair of 5870s. But you also have that option to add in a third 5870 or go for a pair of 5970s. But when we get into that, we start pricing debates, which are quite as interesting to look at as well. Now let's get into the pricing debate. There's a lot of details to look at here. First, if we just look at bare minimum cost, what it's going to run you to do triple monitor gaming, 3 monitors, AMD is going to offer the best solution for that because it only requires a single graphics card. You can get a single 5870 for about $389, not a whole lot of money. Or you can go down to 5850, even a 5770, and technically you can support 3 displays. That being said, performance is going to degrade as your GPU performance goes down. So if you really want to run these games at top resolutions and top image quality settings, the more GPU horsepower you can get, the better off you're going to be. Now, for NVIDIA, it requires 2 graphics cards. So we only got to test the GTX 480s, and we did some testing with 470s. You can check out our website tomorrow for more information on those performance numbers. But what's interesting is you can get a single GTX 480 for $469. A pair of those is going to run you $938. That's a lot of money to spend on graphics cards for any gamer, really. GTX 470s only run you $289. A pair of them will be $578. A single 5870, as I mentioned, is $389. If you want to pair those up for a crossfire configuration, you're looking at $778, and the single 5970 is still going to run you $699 today. Now that is cheaper than a pair of 5870s in crossfire, so if you're interested in that kind of configuration model, you might look at buying a 5970 so you have the option to add in another 5970 or even another 5870 down the road if you want those performance improvements. So while a pair of 5870s will run you $778 and this will run you $699, there's another cost you have to take into account, and that is the requirement of an active DisplayPort to dual-link DVI connection. And even if you're running a 1080p display, you have to have an active adapter. You cannot use one of the cheaper passive adapters. And so those are going to run you $100. So you have to add $100 to any of your pricing configurations in that point. So $778 for a pair of 5870s, plus $100, $878. The pair of GTX 480s is only $938, so we're talking about a difference of only $60 or so between the top level NVIDIA configuration for NVIDIA Surround, pair of GTX 480s in SLI mode, and the pair of 5870s. That's a lot less of a price difference than we thought they were going to be, and when we looked at the performance numbers, the pair of GTX 480s were way out ahead in terms of performance when talking about using this many pixels. So that's a pretty noticeable difference. And although we can't show you GTX 470 numbers today, the fact is you can get a pair of GTX 470s for $578, and you don't have to get any fancy adapters because they just use DVI connections at that point. And those are going to outperform your pair of 5870s in Crossfire, as well as the 5970 in the testing we did on 3-monitor gaming, and it's going to be less expensive, about $300 less expensive for the 470s than for the 5870s, and that's fairly notable difference there. Now, in talking about multi-monitor gaming, we have to include discussion about the displays themselves. Now, getting three 24-inch 1080p displays, they're going to run you about $627 for a set of three, $209 a piece. Now that's pretty expensive, but that's less than the cost of a single 30-inch display. That's less than the cost of a lot of the 27.5-inch displays that have come out recently. That's expensive, but let's take a look at 3D Vision monitors. Those are going to run you $369 a piece for the 24-inch 1080p Acer displays that we use for about just over $1,100 in display cost. So you're talking about a $500 or so difference in going from 2D monitors to 3D monitors. Pretty noteworthy expenses there. And also, if you get the 3D Vision displays, don't forget you're gonna have to spend $199 on the 3D Vision glasses kit with the receiver, transmitter, all that kind of good stuff. Also, if you want to take advantage of the mounts like the ones we used here in our video today, that's going to run you about 329 bucks. So you are talking about a lot of expense when you get into using 3 monitors, getting SLI or Crossfire graphics cards, those kinds of things. So make sure you are budgeting correctly for that. After spending about a week with NVIDIA Surround and 3D Vision Surround, I actually came away pretty impressed. Again, as I mentioned in the pricing segment of this video, you can get a pair of GTX 480s for just about $60, $70 more than a pair of Radeon 5870 cards with the added cost of the $100 active adapter required to get 3 displays working. And performance on the GTX 480s was significantly higher than performance on the pair of 5870s or on the 5970 as well. So again, we kind of give the nod to NVIDIA there. Power consumption, higher on NVIDIA. Noise, higher on NVIDIA. Those are debates that aren't even really up for discussion at this point. But I think for enthusiast gamers that are looking at gaming on triple monitors, they're much more concerned about performance. They're much more concerned about what kind of performance they're getting for their dollar than how much power they're using or how noisy things can get. I'm guessing most of you guys have the volume turned up on your games anyway. Also, again, while we couldn't show you numbers on the GTX 470, this was actually the most impressive configuration that I got to play with, because a pair of GTX 470s versus a pair of Radeon HD 5870s were actually $200 or $300 less expensive when you take the adapter into play, and performance on the 470s in SLI was better than performance on the 5870s in Crossfire or on the 5970. So that's really, really notable. So if you can save $200 or $300, you have that much more going towards the $600 required for your 3 displays, just as an example. That being said, AMD still has the best solution for low-cost multi-monitor usage. If you want 3 displays hooked up to your system, but you don't care about gaming on 3 displays, you can get a 5850, you can get a 5770, and still do great 1-monitor gaming and have the ability to hook up 3 displays to your system really easily, and that's going to be your lowest cost option. If you get a single 5870 for $389, that's obviously less than a pair of anything from NVIDIA's latest generation of graphics cards, and you still have support for 3 displays. So if you don't really care about running about top image quality settings or top resolutions for triple monitors, you can get away with using a single 5870, maybe like an overclocked one here from Asus or whatever, and still get the effect of 3-monitor gaming for a little bit less of the cost, as long as you're willing to downgrade on your performance levels. Talking about 3D Vision, I have to say that I was actually really impressed with how well it worked. Some of the 3D Vision effects we haven't looked at in a while in-house here since almost the initial 3D Vision release. Some games, Left 4 Dead 2, looked really, really good in 3D Vision. Metro 2033 and Batman had really, really good 3D effects. I think the implementation that NVIDIA has with 3D Vision is actually really good with their overlays on the screen that let you know once you're in the game what settings you should disable for the best 3D Vision effects and that kind of thing. I think they did a very good job of implementing that, and I was impressed with it once we got it set up here. That being said, it's hard to justify the expense difference. We're talking about $500 or so difference in monitor cost alone, plus $200 for your glasses kit means you're going to pay $600 more over a standard 2D 3D Vision or a standard 3-monitor configuration to get the 3D effects. So we're talking $600 or so difference there, $600 to $700. And to me, I don't know if a lot of gamers are going to be willing to pay that. If they're already paying $627 for monitors and upwards of $600 for 2 graphics cards, or they really want to spend another $600 to upgrade to the 3D Vision configurations. I personally probably don't think that's the best route to go. Save that money, use it on a solid state drive or something like that, some other way to improve your system. But if you have the money and you want to see the coolest way to game on a PC, 3D Vision Surround is definitely the way to go. Now, if you want more thoughts, opinions, benchmark results, analysis of NVIDIA Surround, more details on the configuration process required, you definitely need to check out our full written review at the URL that's listed here on the screen right in front of you. So for now, I'm Ryan Strout for PC Perspective. Thanks for watching.